So this series, so many things to like digest and to just talk about in general. So today was session 4 out of 6. We only got 2 more left. And you know, from last week being a do you wanna be happy? Do you wanna be free? From it being a moment of that to experiencing my weekend and also like just having more to discuss again. I think like part of the reason why I didn't just record and go after my session was like hard truths, you know? I feel like hard truths, and it's always challenging for me in certain aspects, and it's reminding me how, you know, I'm in this position that I'm in, like career-wise, where we have to give hard truths regardless, and I'm a firm believer of you being able to practice what you need to get better at comes in different ways. And I think like the hard truths that I kind of swallowed today were more so my brain is saying around self-acceptance, but it was like less self-acceptance and just like, what is the thing that makes me move for me and not for others? You know, I think like the hard truths is I've since I was young, I've just made so many movements for the sake of others, and sometimes for my own interest, right? But when the interest no longer serves us, like what steps do we take to realign ourselves with our own interest? And for me, that's always harder. Like I know the steps to take, but sometimes those steps, like they create a different idea and a different image of who you are. And it's funny because last week we did a lot of like talking about identity and perception, and you know, like I've been coming to terms with the fact that I actually do care about how I'm perceived, you know, and I think I do a lot of things for others in order to keep that self-perception, while also simultaneously knowing that there is beauty in being the villain or the bad guy if that means doing things in my best interest. And that's always, you know, it's something that I'm learning to take more water with when I have to swallow it, so that way it's not like this big gulp, it's not so disruptive. And also sometimes more water isn't helpful, you know. Sometimes more water doesn't stop the afterthoughts, it doesn't stop the after feelings, it does not do much for me in the moment. And so like I'm just in this space of owning what it is that I want before moving into the application, because I think I need to be stronger in that, just owning my own interests. And I feel like even though the session kind of brought more stuff out, I left the session with that. How do I own my own interests? Like what can we root down in order to own our own interests? At the start of this, I was so hype and so excited, and I'm still feeling that. And also like I'm one session away from the last session, so it just feels sad. And I feel like, you know, I think in the video I said, you know me, like I feel my feels, we're gonna process, and patted myself on the back because I did not hold back. And I feel like before I recorded this, I don't know if I said this in any of the videos yet, but facing a lot of hard truths. I think it's different when you play around with a lot of different thoughts in your mind and play around with like maybe like your belief systems. When you start to speak things aloud, it's like, at least I can speak for myself, your body starts to like respond to you. And so I would say my body started to respond to me, and it will let me know what feels good, what doesn't. What about what I'm saying is, I don't know if accurate is the right word, but is where I'm actually going with it. And sometimes, even when it doesn't feel good, it doesn't mean that what I had to bring to the table wasn't of substance, you know. And I think like I'm holding on to the last words of like having all of these different parts of me, and sometimes they may conflict, but they all have wisdom. And I'm holding on to that because I feel like I be needing that, you know, I be needing that heavy. And it's weird because my brain having a Scorpio 12th house where like all this conflicting stuff feels relevant. And I didn't dive deep enough into my astro bag to like fully know if that's true or not. But there is something about these multiple different truths or multiple different like schools of practice or like thoughts that all hold some kind of wisdom or serum or some level of truth. And like navigating through them all is like, I feel like the epitome of Jupiter and Scorpio in the 12th house. Like there's so many different unlocked doors, and we can unlock them all and see what it gives us, or we can kind of like, I don't really know what we can do, because sometimes like unlocking all the doors is a lot of info. Like how do we move with all of that info? And I feel like that's kind of what I'm stuck with right now. And that's a struggle. I used to be a faithful bi-weekly girl because, you know, back then life was different and I knew it was a priority, but I didn't understand how helpful it was. And it just seemed more, I guess, financially efficient also to be bi-weekly back then. But being a weekly girl, I'm like, oh yeah, weekly, that standing appointment, needed for sure. But one more episode of this and we're out. Please don't go. Please don't go.